Isha, as a child, little toddler, she was full of life. She had confidence, she would be running around. She did everything that one would have expected of a child who was a premature baby. She was born at 27 weeks, so we always expected that there would be problems. In terms of the learning thing, we didn't notice anything. What we did notice was the underlying medical condition. When she started school, that's when we started noticing differences, a lot of differences, that she couldn't write, she couldn't spell, couldn't draw properly. The school she went to had them in this, what's called, if you were struggling, you went into a fishbowl class. Being in a fishbowl meant you weren't as smart as the other kids. So at that point, we started seeing her confidence going. And by the time we came to about year 5, her confidence was totally shattered. As much as we loved the school, because the pastoral care at the school for her was just superb, the teachers weren't very clued in to what was happening. So we had another teacher said to us, I think, you shouldn't have expectations of her going to university. Now, this is in primary school. And by that point, it's like, well, the hospitals who have done all the psychometric testing say she is in the top 5% of her age group. So why isn't it being reflected in her schoolwork? So by the time we came here in 2016, she was miserable at school, and she was playing out at home, fighting, arguing, not listening, not doing anything. And it was at that, just before we came, that she was diagnosed with ADD as well. And we then came to Arrowsmith. That was the summer intensive program, was the beginning of the changes that she has gone through now. Told us that she was feeling the changes, like she could spell. She said, Mum, I couldn't spell those words. I can spell. Mum, I couldn't understand that equation. I can understand it now. So by the time we finished summer intensive, we knew come hell or high water we were coming back. As parents, it felt a bit like a miracle, seeing your child go from one extreme to the other extreme. We always believed in her, but we weren't educators in how we could get it through to her. And there aren't many programs there that offer this, support, lifeline, or where they can work with kids with these problems. We learned that Isha had issues in the areas of maths, numbers, spelling, writing, all the things that was being picked up at school, but they couldn't help us with. And we decided to get that done because we wanted to know exactly what was going on. And without that assessment, we wouldn't have known. So up until the age of 11, there was a total conflict between what the school was saying and what the psychometric testings were saying. So we just didn't know, as parents, what do you do? Having it done here and the successful assessment, it lined up with bits of both, that she was quite ahead, but at the same time she had the difficulties in the areas that I mentioned. I think without this program, she would have always been questioning her ability, because her one thing that she kept on saying to Adrian and I, and she'd cry over it, was, I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I'm not smart. Now, to hear your child say that, it's heartbreaking. But now, she's got her own group of friends at university. She's got a boyfriend. All these things that we didn't see in her. So she knows who she is. Blossomed when she got to university, the confidence. Oh my God, I got into University of New South Wales. It's one of the top universities in Australia. I got into a double degree. Oh my God, I am capable. That's what she got out of it. And she always says it's Arrowsmith that did it. She is getting such good marks. She's getting distinctions and high distinctions. Now, this is a child who could barely get through school exams in primary school and high school. And to see her, shows how certain children need to be taken out of this square box of conservative educational processes, and you put them somewhere else where their confidence is built up. And once they get out of that mainstream schooling and find themselves at university and find what they love and what their passion is, you'll see your true child's abilities come out. And we've seen that with Isha. She was not able to articulate or say what her struggles were. And after Arrowsmith, if she would have a problem, she would be able to say, Mum, Dad, this is what I'm struggling with, which she couldn't say before. So it made the family dynamic so much easier, because otherwise there was frustration on all sides. We couldn't understand her, she couldn't understand what our concerns were, so there would be clashes. And so now I'm not saying we don't have clashes. I mean, she's a teenager and a young adult, so but that whole family dynamic of that stress, being stressed out about your child, your child not understanding you, the arguments, you've got to study, all of that has calmed down. Do it. It's worth every cent you'll invest for your child, the changes you'll see in your child, and the confidence and self-esteem you give your child it's a gift. I mean, we spend thousands of dollars unnecessarily on things. Put that aside for your child and take them to Arrowsmith. It's the biggest, for us, it was one of the biggest gifts we could have given her. We made sacrifices in so many other things because we took a chance. We didn't know anyone who had done Arrowsmith. We went with our gut and what we had read. And what we got out of it as a family and what we saw in our child, it was phenomenal. And for any family, I would say do it. It was short of a miracle.